Hi, Taurus. Alright, welcome to this space if you're new here, and welcome back if you're returning. If you are new, this space is called Opal Oracle, and my name is Raaji. Very nice to have you all here. Have us all together, right? So, I'm recording this in December, but of course, whenever you find this. So I wish you, I hope you have a beautiful month, Taurus. It's a very happy month, usually, right? Lots of things going on, lots of family, lots of energy, lots of gifts. Maybe that happens too, is like we gotta work all year, right? To be able to get, receive. And I see the words, a job well done. Okay, so you and Aries are recorded on the same day too, so if this is prominent in your chart, or this is just energy you want to learn from, that's also relevant. They're Mars and your Venus, right? It's also your neighbor, so this is, neighbors are usually, it's kind of an intimate thing, right? It's always good to be on good terms with your neighbors. But also having good boundaries there too, right? Understanding there's a difference between this and that. Okay, so one card in your spread showed itself, and it's a major. I really love it. It's the Strength card. So we're talking about Leo energy. This is very creative. It's very loving. To me, how I see this is stepping forward in a very creative way. Like you know where to step, and I guess to know where you're, how do I see this? Well, I see a person looking down at their feet, which is something that I did during your prayer, and maybe you want to try this now too. So you rule the throat, right? Other parts of your body too, ears, things like that, but the throat specifically, the neck is all the way around is you. This very much your neighbor. To that is the shoulders, which actually the upper shoulders is ruled by Leo. So maybe some of you, if you want to try this right now, is put your chin towards your chest and kind of your head out like you're gonna graze on grass, and then push your shoulders back at the same time. You'll feel it. You'll feel the tension when it's there, but this is good tension. Okay, you probably want to loosen that muscle, right? There's a time to pick your head up and look around. There's a time to look down and see where you are, to gather what you need. Okay. Let's see what you've been thinking about. No, let's go into the heart first. I'll take that back. All right, now let's look at the head. Okay, interesting. So the head's on straight. You actually have another major here, Justice. And the moon sits in the heart of the matter. Here's another major. So we have 3 majors thus far. It's pretty interesting to pick those out of all the cards first. So Libra, Cancer, Leo. This is Venus, the sun, and the moon. So there could be an eclipsing of something. In ways of relationships, or maybe this is just the close of this year where it's kind of like, maybe you balance something out between the sun and the moon. Justice is helping that. Someone's definitely made up their mind here. Like their mind is settled, that it's very clear. The heart still has a little bit of, let's go down the line and see what the tree looks like. Oh my God, the Emperor, here's another major, holy. Taurus, wow. So the Emperor looks over at strength. I do feel as if Aries reading could be very helpful for you. You got to know your power, Taurus. You know, for the first, I think it was the first probably good solid 4 years of Opal Oracle through this channel, you always had the Emperor in your readings. Every single reading, it didn't matter what reading it was, Taurus always had the Emperor here. This is a strong character. This is not a passive person, right? I mean, he knows when to step back, he knows when to step forward, but it's not passive. It's assertive, right? Has good boundaries. Know what they know, like they can see the strength in other people. They don't compare that to their own weakness. They're inspired by other people. You know, and there's I see a lot of strength through love here too, a lot of strength through creation. So root chakra is actually really powerful right now, too. To me, I see this as like the base of the tree. So I see that as really strong, but it's like, okay, so one of the roots is really, really powerful and like growing out. Let's see the other root. Oh my God, the Hierophant, another major. Whoa, Taurus. Okay, so you have to have faith right now that you... How do I see this? Oh, you have this T like Virgo did in the yearly readings like 3 or 4 years ago. It was like a T this way, upright, and then you would take it and like make another T like in the negative space, and then it would continue as like a puzzle. I believe in Chinese that has something, it's something to do with knowing what's true. You know, it's the difference between right and wrong, right? It is valor, it's courage, it is, right? Those who dare not offend, when Emperor acts like that, what happens is one cannot be honest, right? And Libra is your balance of that. So well, I see, so be honest. Didn't we talk about that recently? With yourself, with other people. Because, you know, sometimes a lie can be, it isn't even lying to someone else, it's like lying to yourself about how, I don't know, how life could be, or what you could be, or what it could be. You know what I mean? How you feel, whatever. Interesting. Let's see if you're carrying, what's on your shoulders. Holy. You have 2 more majors. Taurus. If this is, I can't say whether it be all majors. Okay, so on one shoulder is an angel and on the other shoulder is the devil. On one shoulder is Capricorn and the other shoulder is Aquarius. These are both Saturn on your shoulders. So some of you are carrying something very heavy on your shoulders. I see this is also recognizing a Libra. This justice in the middle is so interesting. It's like, okay, here's the light, here's the shadow. Holy. Hold on, hold on, hold on. So the light lines up with you, okay? You have something guiding you. Although sometimes you can't see, but remember, you can only see the stars in the sky, which are a means of moving through the darkness. That can only happen when it is dark, when there's the moon. Okay, you can't, the stars are still there when the sun is shining, but you can't see them, right? So maybe you need to remind yourself also in your heart that there's something, again, whatever the, you know, maybe it's one of those things where you got to know what's talking to you. You know what I mean? It was just 11:11. It's like you got to know what's talking to you. Okay, we talked about this. There was this old reading called Excellent Decisions. Water and Wine, I think is what it was called. And it talked about how there's this little, and I heard this in your prayer before we began. It's, thank you for putting it all together. There's this little voice. You know, Spirit doesn't speak very loudly most of the time. The darkness does. Now, sometimes we need to pay attention to that darkness and not ignore it so that we can find our faith, right? At other times, we have to tell that shadow to get the heck out of here. Tell your sorrow to take a hike, right? Tell your fear to take a hike, because I heard you'll make it all right, okay? Because it's always the thing that says, oh yeah, do that. When you know it's not good for you, you just want to double check here. You know, again, it's like those little cartoons. I keep seeing it. It's like one side is like a little angel that's like, hey, it's okay, go this way. And the other side's like, you know, you can do it. It's like a little cheerleader. And the other side's just like, you suck. You'll never get out of this. You know, it's that kind of duality. So maybe you just want to start to recognize more about your own intuition in this way as well, right? There's probably different voices for different, they sound different, right? They feel different. The thoughts of it, the feeling of it, whatever it is. Interesting. Let's see what you're doing with your hands. Okay, you have it one other major, and then the 8 of Cups. Holy shite. Out of 9 cards, Taurus, you have 8 majors. What is that? Strength, the one that showed itself. When I just said that, my upper shoulders and all the way up my head and all the way up my neck and out my head and then back over into my heart. That's what it felt like a wave coming over and filling this space. Okay, for some of you, this is so major. This month, or whenever this energy comes in, because when this many majors are here, it means that there's no way to ignore what's happening. Something really big is happening right now. But it's almost like it's one of those things where, okay, this hurts over here, right? You feel it over here, but that isn't the thing that's the problem. It's like the other side of it, right? Your back, like your back will hurt on the left side, but it's actually your right hip, right? It's this like mirror world. Remember, it's not always wherever the pain is, it very well could have to do with a different place if you're dealing with that. And I would say for some of you, there could be something in ways of like bad habits, or any kind of addiction, codependency, just stuff like this. Because 8 of Cups, the only small one here is 8 of Cups. To me, this is about emotional maturity, right? It's about realizing sometimes, yeah, we have a lot of options. Maybe we pick the right one, or we always kind of pick the right one, right? The one that we need to figure out more about the self. There's 2 moons on this board, too. 2 crescent moons, 2 full moons. But what happens here with the 8 of Cups is when we choose purely emotionally, we always make a mistake, right? It has to be like from the heart, from the head. It's got to be fair to your heart. If it's fair to your heart, it stays. If it's not fair to your heart, then there's trouble with it, right? There's like friction with it. Excuse me. Interesting. So you're going towards... Oh, you're like making your own path. Now, what does the 8 of Cups go towards? The 9 of Cups, which is about emotional fulfillment. It's about being contented with oneself. It's about being contented in one's choices. They finally made a choice. It can have emotionality in it, but it also has practicality. It has spirituality. It has creativity around it. It has positivity around it, right? It's not a surface choice. It's a deep choice. It's a real choice. Wow. Interesting. There's so many majors, I don't even know what to do. Like what to... It's not like I don't feel scared though. I need to express... I guess I want to tell you how I feel because... Who's the last person that you really told how you felt? Not what you're thinking, not what's wrong with somebody else. But like, really what's in your heart. Well, who's the last person you told that to? What are those last conversations? Like recent, whenever they were. Fascinating, Taurus. Alright, we don't need that. Let's see. Oh, there's the Fool on the bottom. My God. So you're the most majors that I think has come out in a really long time. In a spread, okay? Especially collectively speaking. So this means, Taurus, that you hold a lot of responsibility and power right now. Okay? Your lessons through Libra and Aquarius are what are going to help you to feel more confident with Capricorn. Okay? To help you to find the balance in your mind also goes into you, Taurus, and Leo. This is your square. So you got to face your heart head on. You can't just like periphery what's going on in your heart. When you periphery what's going on in your heart, it turns into moon. You have to face it head on. And I guess how you do that is through Aries. Because Aries is going to be actually in the constellation, Aries looks at Taurus. So your Aries is what's powerful. But it's not meant to be something, again, where, you know, you're mean or anything. It's not about that. It's not being an asshole. It's like just being assertive, right? There's passive, there's aggressive, there's assertive. Assertive. Just a second. It's so... You know, since this is the end of the year, although I know these readings last a lot longer, there's a little sweat bee that just landed on the moon. Just a minute. Again, with all these majors, it was just 2020. With all these majors, I guess this is one of those things where it's kind of like, hindsight may be 2020, right? But I feel like you've lived long enough to be able to have some sort of concept and awareness that you don't have to wait until the hindsight is like, till you get past something to ultimately see it. It's all right in front of you, Taurus. So I would also suggest this is not a time to ignore things by any means. Please do not hide, do not isolate, do not pretend, do not lie, do not like hold. I heard hold shit in. Right, your opposite is Scorpio. They rule that part of the body, is like release, because what that function does is release toxicity. Right? It releases what we do not need. It lets go, right? When a person's all constipated or like bound up, then that is because there's a blockage there. Someone doesn't want to let go of something emotionally. So I would say at this time, oh my God, I just split it to another major chariot. Well, apparently something big, and I heard the word universal, is having you move forward to this other space. I do see that some of you hold way too much on your shoulders. There's another major, lovers. It's like you hold a lot on your shoulders. So I would also say, if if that shoulder's tight, if your neck is tight, please like stretch more. Okay, you want to be in your body because you want to be aware that this is a big lesson right now. Now, Uranus, let's talk a little bit into the future. So next year, 2023, a lot of bigger stars are shifting, right? Saturn is moving, Jupiter is moving, Uranus is moving into new spaces, new degrees, right? Now, I would say, you know what this is about? Okay, I see a part of this because you work from the past. You work slower, right? So let's look back, because again, that hindsight is helpful for you. When Uranus moved into Taurus, so most perceived it, this was 2018, April, right before your birthday. So April, May, right? 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. We're going to be in 23, which is a 5-year chunk. Okay? Maybe you want to go back to that space. This could very well be where some of you are still holding on to fears from back then that are now wanting you to be released, or to recognize that, like, okay, if you got your head on straight about something, then you're really golden. Because I actually see a lot of faith in where a person is walking, but it depends on how heavy it feels up here on your shoulders. Okay? Maybe some of you got to shake something off. And I could see, like, this is Aquarius energy too. Like, some of you have to shake off, like, old energy. This could also be doing different things with your hands. You know, it could be grabbing on to new things. And I just saw someone grabbing on the reins of a horse, and they were like, it was solid. It was like, I got this. I've done this before. Got it. You know, and of course, for some of you, eventually there are things to let go of. But this could be more of a mentality too. You know, I could see where, even although the heart still has questions to some extent, it could also be where this is, especially with Saturn. Saturn energy is like restrictive, and it going through Aquarius was moving around rigidity in the mind, right? Especially where Aquarius ever is in your chart. That was really important. It was shifting things. It was solidifying things. It was asking questions. Do you believe what you know? Are you sure? Are you solid about that? What do you want to know more about? You know, would you like to know something different about this? Right, that kind of, these kinds of questions. And I guess if you answered those questions and you're open to it, Taurus, right, then apparently it could be very well possible that everything that you want could come to you. Or maybe just some of you need to recognize that you already have exactly everything that you need to go to the next place. It depends where you're at. So this could be a big shift in mentality. I would... Aries reading will definitely be very helpful. Oh, what do you do when you're stressed out? Two of Pentacles, Four of Wands. What do you do when you're stressed out? What do you do when there's a challenge? What do you do, Taurus? There's something that needs to be attended to. With home, with family, with your children. When your creativity is a little blocked. Like, yeah. What do you do when it gets in that space? Could also be when you kind of worry a little bit. What do you do to ease yourself? You know, just because a person becomes stronger doesn't mean that they have to walk heavy, right? You figure stronger is like, it weighs more, strength, right? You're like, when you're weak, you feel like a feather or something's floating. It's not solid, right? But when someone becomes stronger, it doesn't have to mean heavier. It doesn't mean like you stomp your feet around. It's like the strength comes from grace. I would definitely say be open to new things, okay? This is not a time to be stubborn or to hang on to old mentalities that don't suit you anymore, okay? Because actually, that 2018 was when there were a lot of eclipses that year, too. Those eclipses were really strong. We're going backwards. I guess the point is, Taurus, with all these majors, you want to make space, okay? Because, again, there's a lot of new things coming in. And I will say that, there you are again. Whatever the heaviness is, it'll go away, but you're the only one that can cut yourself free of it. I suppose you can also ask Spirit, but it's not going to necessarily come from other people. You have to believe it. You have to, like, overcome the challenge. You have to say to yourself, yes, no. Like, know what it is. Yes. Right? No. Yes. No. Yes. Which one is it? I guess this could also be knowing what your guides are, too. Let's talk about what, to close this out, let's go over the Zodiac signs. So I see, let's look at the oppositions. So we have Capricorn, Leo, which is an inconjunct, right? That's an adjustment there. That's where the Eight of Cups is. This is an adjustment in the heart. This is putting light where there was darkness, right? It's coming out of the darkness, really. Not being afraid of it, too. And I see what's healthy for you. Then we have Libra, Aries, with Cancer, the moon, Cancer energy in the middle. Then we have Aquarius and Taurus, which is a square. Libra to Aries is an opposition. So all of these are actually really good, because this is going to show you what you already know. You know, there's no way to let go of our shadow, right? Where's my shadow right now? There it is. Can you see it? Even on the sunniest day, there's a shadow. We can't really, like, let go of that ultimately, but we can learn how to work with it more correctly and understand, you know, sometimes that which is uncomfortable can really motivate a person to be like, okay, wait. It can help you to feel something. So again, please don't ignore how you feel. Look at this, 3 of Swords on the Tower, right? Now, I feel like for a lot of you, this could be, because we're talking to a lot of people here, and everyone's on a different point in the path, but this could very well be where some of you are finally gaining new faith in situations, you know, in people, in your children, just like all the way around. Friends even, like finding your power again, maybe, you know. I guess there's a test of that. I would also say, however your relationships are right now are reflecting your internal space, so please be aware of that also. Not that everything's meant to be perfect, but just be conscious of that. I would also say Libra is a way for you to, Libra is also a way for you, this could also be Venus, is a way for you to sort of balance Saturn energy, right? Libra is exalted, Saturn is exalted in Libra. This could be a really nice time for someone to read your chart also, just because of all this, the way I'm seeing it. I don't know. Help prepare you for the next year. Moon and Aries. I heard I ain't afraid of no ghosts. There's, please watch Aries reading. That'll help whatever it is, where you help them where their head is too hot, and they help you where your heart is confused. Maybe having to do with your own value, okay? I heard again, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Okay. Guess that's that. Oh, it's such a beautiful day today. It's been chilly, but now it's really warm. It feels so good, Taurus. It feels so good. Maybe when it's a Leo moon or an Aries moon or a Capricorn moon, Taurus moon, Aquarius moon, these could be helpful times for you to pay attention. Yep, and to maybe these are calibrating times too. Okay? I would make any adjustments in yourself too. At least be conscious of what you want to change for the new year. And use Mars in that right way. You know what I mean? That power in you. Assertive, not passive, not aggressive, assertive. I feel like if you practice that, by the time February comes around, it's a lot easier from then until your birthday and then your birthday to Leo, and then Leo to Libra. Leo to Libra is a sextile. It's really beautiful. This is positive. There's no question about relationships. It's like, you know, there's no mistrust in it. It's just awesome. You know, in the connections of things, whatever you're creating with. Clear as a bell. Ding. Well, thank you, Taurus. I appreciate all your hard work. I know it's not easy. You know, and any of you who are where these majors are something that, like, if you are in that place where it just feels overwhelming, I need you to know that you can do it, okay? Whatever it is, you can do it, you know? Yep. It has a lot to do with mentality. I would look at your 5th house, also 1st, 5th house. This is who you are and how you create, right? It's your capacity is, I guess, what is sort of being tested as a person or what have you. You know, it's taking your ability and expanding upon that. You don't have to be afraid. You can do that. Okay? You're strong enough. You're tall. I heard you're tall enough now. Well, again, Merriest Christmas or Happy Holy Days, whatever you celebrate. I hope it's wonderful. I know sometimes holidays can be a little heavy, right? Even though there's a lot of joy in them. It's an emotional time, so just remember that too. Be conscious of all that you are and all of your protection that you have. Okay? I hope you have a wonderful month. And or whenever you find this. Thank you, any of you who are still here. I hope this was of service. Really wishing you the best, Taurus. I know you work so hard. Okay? I guess Spirit is just having you want to shift that a little bit with all these majors, right? Something really big this month, so be open to it. Okay? Love you so much. Happy solstice.